Meyer Lansky's life reads like a shadowy epic of 20th-century America, where the immigrant dream and the criminal underworld met in an uneasy dance. Imagine the Lower East Side of New York in the early 1900s, crowded tenements, pushcarts lining the streets, families huddled together in hopes of survival. In those narrow, bustling alleys, young Meyer learned quickly that the world was divided into those who preyed, those who were preyed upon, and those clever enough to slip through unseen. From the very start, he was different. While other boys fought with fists, Lansky fought with his mind. He could look at a deck of cards, a pair of dice, or a roulette wheel and see not luck but numbers, ratios, probabilities, and patterns invisible to others. It was here that he discovered the truth that would guide his entire life. Gambling wasn't about chance, it was about mathematics. If you controlled the odds, you controlled the game. By the 1920s, the United States was gripped by Prohibition, and New York had become a cauldron of opportunity for the ambitious and the ruthless. Lansky and his close friends, Lucky Luciano and Bugsy Siegel, formed a brotherhood born of both survival and ambition. Luciano, the strategist of power; Siegel, the hot-headed enforcer; and Lansky, the quiet genius with numbers. Together, they were like pieces of a puzzle that completed one another. When bootlegging exploded, the underworld needed brains to balance its muscle, and Lansky stepped into that role effortlessly. While others flaunted money in flashy suits and nightclubs, Lansky operated from the shadows. He created systems to move illegal profits, to hide them, and to make them grow. He knew that an empire built only on violence would eventually crumble, but an empire built on money, carefully managed, invisibly flowing, could last for generations. By the 1930s and 40s, Lansky was not just a gangster, he was an architect of the modern mob. He helped design the Commission, a governing body that brought order to the chaotic world of organized crime. With Luciano, he built a syndicate that stretched far beyond New York, reaching into Chicago, Florida, and beyond. But his real obsession was gambling. Legal or illegal, it didn't matter. Lansky saw it as the purest form of profit. In Las Vegas, when Bugsy Siegel dreamed of turning the desert into a playground of lights, Lansky was there, not in the headlines but in the ledgers, making sure the money flowed and the odds remained unbreakable. And when Havana glittered under Batista's rule, Lansky saw a second Las Vegas rising on Caribbean shores. He built casinos that attracted Hollywood stars, politicians, and businessmen. In Havana's golden nights, you could hear the music of money pouring endlessly into Lansky's coffers. But history is ruthless. Castro's revolution came like a storm, slamming shut the doors of every casino. Overnight, Lansky's Caribbean empire crumbled, leaving behind nothing but memories of what might have been. Still, the man was never without a plan. Even as fortunes vanished in Cuba, whispers spoke of hidden accounts overseas, money tucked away in Switzerland or Israel, some so vast they became myth. The FBI chased those whispers for decades. From 1950 to 1978, they compiled file after file on Lansky, interviewing informants, tracing money trails, following him across continents. But Lansky was like smoke, always present, never graspable. Then came 1972, the year the government thought it had finally cornered him. Indictments alleged that Lansky and his partners had skimmed millions from Las Vegas casinos, a crime that might have put him behind bars for life. But by then, Lansky was in his 70s, weakened by failing health. Doctors declared him too ill to stand trial, and once again, the man who had spent a lifetime in shadows slipped away from the grasp of justice. To the public, he became a paradox. Some saw him as a criminal genius who had stolen untold millions, the mob's accountant, who could move money like a magician. Others saw him as an old man who walked the streets modestly, far removed from the myth of hidden billions. Did he truly die wealthy, with treasure buried across secret accounts, or did he die nearly penniless, a ghost of his former power? On January 15, 1983, Meyer Lansky's story came to an end. But death did not erase the curiosity, the rumors, or the legend. Even today, his name lingers in whispers. Was he the quiet architect of a criminal empire, or merely a man who understood money better than anyone else? Perhaps the greatest mystery of all is this: Meyer Lansky never needed to fire a gun, never sought the spotlight, and never boasted of his power. Yet he outlived many of his allies, outmaneuvered countless enemies, and confounded the government until his final breath. His true fortune, whether in dollars or in legacy, remains hidden, like the man himself, in the shadows of history.